What's going on, guys? This is Andrew with Figure Fandom Review. Today we're going to be looking at Demoniacal Fit's Martialist Forever figure. And I know you're probably thinking, oh, not another Goku. Yeah, another one. However, this one is a little interesting, and we all know that Demoniacal Fits is really trying to come for the crown and take it away from Tamashii. They've been really aggressive in pumping out these figures, and yeah, this one's interesting. So we'll get them off the stand, we'll take a look, and I'll give you my honest opinion. Alright, let's get into it. Alright guys, now that we've got them off the stand, let's go ahead and take a closer look. So, right away, the first thing that I noticed when I handled this figure is that the quality of the plastics feel really good in hand. For those of you who buy a lot of third-party figures, you'll know what I'm talking about. Usually they do have a cheaper feel to the figure as a whole. It feels like it's cheaper plastic. This one doesn't. This one actually has a nice little heft too, so it feels like a premium figure in your hands, which is nice. Aesthetically, there's really not a lot to complain about on this figure. The only issue that I have with it is in the joints. So if you look at the arm there, he's got like a little bump, or it looks like a wart, like in the crevice of his elbow there. That's from the molding process they use on the joints, and they didn't file that down or smooth it out, so it just kind of is there, unfortunately. As well as the joints that they use in the knees, they're different plastic than the pants, so they're shinier and also, again, a little rough. You know, not horrible. It's not like it's going to be a problem, but after touching it, you do notice it. Like you think about it when your finger touches it. So a little strange. They could have just filed that down, as well as they could have put shading on the back of the pants so that it would at least match to the rest of the pants. But on shading, they do shade the front of the pants, which is nice. They also have some shading on the upper shoulders there, which is, again, very nice. So there's that. Paintwork is actually clean on the chest. So this whole chest area, that's all plastic and molded plastic. So they had to paint that, and the paintwork is very clean. So that's nice. As well as if you look at his shoes are really well done. The paintwork is pretty solid on it. So all in all, really good. Aesthetically, they do a great job. Also, I'm not 100% on this, but I'm pretty sure this is the Gohan body. So just really great job picking this body too, man. It's such a good body. I love it. Let's go ahead and take a look at the articulation and see how this guy moves. So on this channel, I like to start from top to bottom, work my way down. Starting with the head has a problem with this figure, and that's primarily because of the way they designed the back of his hair. His hair wraps around the neck here, and it actually blocks the movement. So for instance, if you're trying to move sideways, that's basically all you're gonna get. Like on head pivot, he can only go about that far each way. As well as for going back, which is worse, you can't even go back at all. Because of the way the back of the hair is designed, it just runs right into the neck. So that impedes him on the side and backward head movement. However, he can go very far forward if he's looking down. So, I mean, there's at least that. But unfortunately, the head movement is really messed up, and that's a bummer, because I mean, the figure looks beautiful, like I said earlier. It just sucks that his head movement isn't that great. Moving forward though to arms, the arms do give you 90, so right out. You do have a bicep swivel with amazing triceps, I might add. You get a double jointed elbow right here, and the wrist is on a ball peg, and you get your typical up and down motion that you would get from a standard Tamashii figure. Alright. With his waist does not really move much on the pivot at all. So pivoting, and he's very creaky. Moving left and right, that's about all you'll get. And moving down and back is also not very great. That's all I get from moving down. And then moving back right here, that's about all you're getting also. So if you see this, that's it. That's all you're gonna get, unfortunately. Looking at his, oh, you do get twist though. So the twist is there from side to side. So you do get twist as well. Looking at his leg articulation, he does get 90, which is good. So he gets 90. He does have a double jointed knee, so works pretty good. The knees, though, I have a problem with them. So they work well. The joint works very well, actually. But the problem is that when three things. One, super gappy right here. Like, that's, you know, really big gap for no reason. Also, when I try to close my knees up, the tip corner of his knee runs into the pants, and then I have to kind of like use my finger to push it down so it goes back in. So that is a problem. And the final issue is that when they were doing the shading for the pants, they sprayed the shading there, but they didn't do shading for when his knees are bent. So when you bend his knee, you get this area here, which is kind of hard to see on camera, but the shading goes across here, and there's no shading on top or bottom, which looks weird. So that is an issue with that for sure. Going to his, also he does have a thigh swivel, so there is that. Going to his legs, or his feet rather, he has a ankle rocker, which is actually pretty good, and he does have a pretty decent toe hinge. Like toe hinge isn't pretty from the side, however, it is functional when using the toe hinge to actually hold him up, so he's bouncing on his toes. It does a really good job, so that's, you know, kudos to them. I actually enjoy that. He doesn't get a whole lot of tilt, so that's about all the tilt you're gonna get. And you hear me on that joint right now. I'm scared this thing's gonna pop off on camera, but yeah, that's about it, and that's about as far back as it gets. You can't really push him, that I've seen, push this joint up or down, so yeah, you're not going to get a whole lot of tilt, unfortunately, from the figure. So my thoughts on the articulation: he is good in some areas and bad in other areas, man. It's kind of disappointing. He's like, there are things this figure does well, and there are things it doesn't do well, with simple things like, you know, his head being able to look back. I mean, come on, that should be a no-brainer. But yeah, so there are things that are good and bad with this figure from the articulation standpoint. Let's go ahead and get into the accessories and see what he comes with. Alright guys, so here are the faces and hands we have with this figure. In the upper left, we have a shouting face, followed closely by Goku's smirking, cocky face. We have a happy, you know, smiling Goku face, as well as their angry, teeth-gritted face right here. For hands, we've got two open blast hands. We've got two martial artist hands as well. We've got two, what appear to be, I guess, grasping hands. We have two instant transmission hands, left and right. And on his left hand, we have a thumbs up hand. Last but certainly not least, we have a flight stand. I've been mentioning a flight stand recently in almost all my videos because it's a shame that these are characters that fly in the anime all the time. Everybody flies, and unfortunately they haven't been providing us any flight stands for these figures. So great job, Demoniacal Fit, in providing that 100%. Well, there you have it, guys. Demoniacal Fit's Martialist Forever figure review. If I were to rate this figure, I'm gonna say he's a 7 out of 10. Would be higher had it not had the issues with articulation. Personally though, I do not regret my purchase. I like the figure a lot. If you're asking me whether or not you should purchase it, well, that depends on you and what you like. If you're just going to keep it on the shelf, just pose it one time and just leave it there, it's a really beautiful figure. It's got beautiful face plates, different hands, so you can kind of pick and choose however you want to leave it and keep them there. If you are going to do a lot of articulation and movement and reposing or pictures even, then you may want to think about your purchase before you go ahead and get it. I, though, think it's a really good looking figure, and I'm able to look past a lot of the articulation issues still. If you are new to my channel, I do videos weekly, and please comment down below. I do like to hear your opinions. I do read the comments and I try to respond to any of them that I see. Alright? So everybody, please be safe, and as always, keep collecting.